everybody, and welcome to our summer series of Teachers Learning Lounge. I'm in my t-shirt, I've got my shorts on, but I'm thinking today about the power of hearing your name. A few weeks ago, I was in Costco, and I ran into somebody that I knew 30 years ago, reconnected with on social media 5 years ago, and then we saw each other live. And after we embraced and we started talking a little bit, because now she works in public schools instead of the business sector, she kept infusing my name into the conversation. And I noticed immediately how much I liked that she kept on letting me know that she knows who I am. And I just felt that connection every time she said my name. And it got me thinking about our students. Neuroscience research shows that when we hear our names, it activates new places, new parts of our brain. And that's what we want for our students, right? That's what we want when they're in our classrooms, is we want as much of their brain to be activated and excited and bought into what we're saying. And the way that we can create that buy-in, or one of the ways I should say that we can create that buy-in, is through knowing their names. So let me share with you 3 strategies that I think are really important and that are doable between now and the beginning of the school year so that you can know your students' names. Number 1, if your school system or your district uses a system where they preload students' names and their pictures, I would suggest creating digital flashcards or something where you can start associating a picture with the student name. And what will happen is when these students come into the classroom, you'll be calling them by their names and they will be amazed and love it. I have a colleague that I have an enormous respect for, who about 3 years ago decided to do this. She made her digital flashcards and she put it into, I think, a Quizlet game, and she just sat there and for 10 minutes every night for about 2 weeks before school started, she worked on memorizing about 120 new French students' names. And when those students came into the classroom, there was instant connection. They were so excited to see her. And she told me, Jody, I will never not do that again. That's how powerful it was for her. So again, maybe create like a flashcard system or something so you can start associating their names with their pictures. Number 2, what about filming the students on their way into your classroom on one of the first days of the school year? You can hear their name, they could tell you a little something about themselves, and you can quickly make that connection and then turn around and be able to learn their names and call them by name very quickly. Again, think about how that increases the trust in your classroom and that student buy-in. Third, latching onto that idea, for all of you who teach students who maybe are multilingual students, or students that maybe have names that you're not familiar with how to pronounce them, instead of just saying, oh, I'm going to call you Jack, instead of the way that they would say it in Mozambique, I would suggest filming them or doing an audio on how they are pronouncing their name so you can learn how to pronounce it the way that they have been raised hearing their name. That shows that you really do care about the student and you're willing to put the effort in to knowing how to pronounce their names. I lived in Europe for about 1.5 years, and apparently in German-speaking Europe, Jody, J-O, is a little bit of a harder sound to create. So I had all these wonderful people say, Judy, Judy, and I loved it, and it was endearing. I also had friends there who really worked on Jody, and I appreciated that. That just sent me this message that I want to say your name correctly. I care about you. Last, I was on vacation with some of my family a few weeks ago, and we were at a restaurant, and all of a sudden I heard from behind me, Frau Lindsay, which means Miss Lindsay in German. And I turned around and saw a former student of mine from about 10 to 12 years ago. And I said, Sage, and we hugged. Her boyfriend was just kind of jaw dropped. He said, this was your teacher 10 to 12 years ago, and she just said your name. without you reminding her. I can't do that for everyone, but it was really such a beautiful moment and a beautiful reminder that we love names and we love to hear our names. I hope you find these strategies useful as you're getting ready for the beginning of the school year and enjoying your last few weeks of summer. So teach like it matters, because it does.